Topping today's news, Shantytown residents fighting the government over demolition plead their case in the appeals court today. LPIA expecting an increase in passengers over the Easter holiday weekend. A young female loses her life in a traffic accident while another female falls victim to rape. And there will be lots of opportunities for you to enjoy Carifta competition free of charge. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jcn Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you join us. Shantytown residents who were serviced eviction notices last month that essentially summoned them to court today appeared before a Supreme Court justice by Zoom. The government's Unregulated Communities Action Task Force in late March posted some 260 notices on Shantytown structures on Abaco. Arguments were heard today before the Chief Justice, Sir Ian Winder, as the Davis administration is seeking to eradicate shantytowns or unregulated communities across the Bahamas. The summons indicates that the government is seeking to demolish some 555 shantytown structures here on New Providence and on Abaco. Just last Thursday, Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Clint Watson, told reporters that the government is also seeking monetary compensation from shantytown residents who allegedly built new structures despite a court order handed down by Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson which prohibited them from doing so. The government's case is being presented by attorney Kayla Green Smith, while Fred Smith KC is representing the shantytown dwellers. The government will not be giving people living in unregulated communities more time to vacate. This coming on the heels of a meeting government had with the League of Haitian Pastors and the Haitian community last Tuesday to hear their concerns on the demolition of the shantytowns. During that meeting, the government was asked to have compassion and consider giving those in shantytowns more time to get their feet on the ground and to get their affairs in order. Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Clint Watson, telling reporters at the recent Press Weekly by the Office of the Prime Minister that there is nothing to consider.
The government is abiding by the court ruling when it comes. The court ruling, when it comes, will specify a time frame for those persons. The government will be obligated to abide by the court ruling. It's not a sit down around the table and let's figure out what we're going to do. How are we going to, should we extend it? No. The government is abiding in this entire process by the courts to make sure there's transparency, there's accountability, and we follow the rule of law. Whatever the courts determine, the government will then make its move based on the courts.
Nearly 100,000 passengers expected to be processed at the country's major gateway in this coming weekend. Key stakeholders at the Lynden Pindling International Airport are gearing up for what is expected to be a busy Easter holiday, the travel period projecting that an estimated 70 to 80,000 passengers will come through the capital via the Lynden Pindling International Airport between Thursday, April 6th and Easter Monday, April 10th. Airport officials are predicting strong numbers across all sectors, including U.S., non-U.S., and domestic travel when compared to the same period in 2022 and when benchmarked against the record-breaking 2019. President and CEO at the Nassau Airport Development Company, NAD, Vernice Walking, in a statement, notes that coming off a strong first quarter of travel, including a significant boost during spring break, officials expect to see numbers 15 to 30% over the same period in 2022. Last Easter, LPIA recovered 80% of the pre-pandemic passenger numbers when 62,112 passengers moved through the airport. In 2019, a banner year for travel, some 75,000 travelers were processed over the Easter holiday weekend. Ms. Walking believes that, based on projections heading into this Easter holiday weekend, it is anticipated that the passenger count at LPIA will match or possibly exceed pre-pandemic numbers. An adult female is dead following an early morning traffic accident in western New Providence. The tragic accident occurred in the area of Sandyport and the Poop Deck restaurant on Saturday. According to police reports, sometime around 1 a.m., the female was driving her red 2019 Kia Rio east on the Western Bay Street Highway when she attempted to overtake a black 2014 Audi A6 driven by a male. In her attempt to overtake, a collision occurred, causing the victim to lose control of her vehicle, which then collided into a tree on the left side of the street. Fire service officers had to use the jaws of life to extract the woman from the vehicle, after which emergency medical services technicians rendered medical assistance to the victim, who had been trapped in the vehicle. Unfortunately, she succumbed on the scene. Police say the male driver received no injuries. In 2022, Traffic Division of the police force recorded over 6,000 traffic accidents, including 59 traffic fatalities. Sexual assaults against females continue to be a concern for the police and for the general public. Investigators here in the capital seeking the public's assistance in finding 2 adult males accused of sexually assaulting a teen girl in the early hours of Sunday morning. According to police reports, the 16-year-old shortly after 12 a.m. was walking in the area of Blue Hill Road when she was approached by 2 males who were occupants of a black-colored Nissan March. The men reportedly abducted the young girl and took her to bushes in the area of Munnings Drive, where they sexually assaulted her before leaving her there and making good their escape. Police are actively investigating and are asking you to help if you have any information at all. And finally, in this segment, the historic 50th Carifta Games, just 4 days away, set to begin on Friday. These games will be the largest ever, as for the first time in its history, all 28 member countries in the Caribbean will participate. Additionally, the games will have the largest television broadcast in its history, with fans throughout the Caribbean, Latin America, Canada, and Europe tuning in. CEO of the local organizing committee, Lyndon Maycock, while at the most recent press briefing at the Office of the Prime Minister, explains how you and your family can get involved with Carifta, even if you have a limited budget. He begins with the opening ceremony on Friday.
April 7, which is Good Friday, is the official opening ceremony for the Carifta Games. April 7 is the official opening ceremony for the Carifta Games. It's free to the public, and it starts at 4 p.m. in the afternoon at the Thomas A. National Stadium. Okay, that's April 7, Good Friday at 4 p.m. It's the opening ceremony for the Carifta Games, free to the public. Later that evening, in the Cultural Village, the chaplain of the Carifta Games, Pastor Mario Moxie, and his fine members at Bahamas Harvest will be having a Good Friday gospel concert and production in the Cultural Village in the amphitheater. And so it's free to the public, and so the entire public is invited.
In addition to the opening ceremony and gospel production on Friday, Mr. Maycock revealed that there will also be opportunities for the general public to enter the stadium free of charge and actually watch the competition.
All morning events are free to the public. And so you can come in the morning and you can come in free to watch the competition on Saturday morning. You could come in free on Sunday morning, and you can come in free on Monday morning to watch competition. The evenings are ticketed, and tickets start as low as $10, from $10 to $50. The $50, unfortunately, are all gone. Those $50 went fast and furious. And so the $50 are all gone, the $40 are all gone. And so you have tickets starting from $10 to $30 that are still available. And I must encourage our people to please get your tickets. Tickets are going very, very fast. You don't want to get left out because, like I said, these games will be one of the greatest games ever in the history of the Carifta Games.
Bahamians are asked to wear a certain color on each day of the competition, including black on Friday, that's Black Friday, white on Saturday, aquamarine on Sunday, and your gold on Monday, the final day of the competition. Again, Jamaica is the defending champion.